Last time we recorded was November.
Yeah.
In Whiskey Prison.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's all about where you've been and on the road.
Yeah.
We were all friends in prison.
That one time in prison.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do have a question.
You want to take that off?
I have
Try it without it.
Can I try it with
Yeah,
that?
that's Lefty Lucy.
Once again, I feel left out. I'm the only one with a shield
There we go.
And a helmet.
and a helmet. Exactly. Thanks, Elton. I thought you were my friend.
And not all of your own teeth.
I do have a nice shiny white tooth.
But that's not a bovine tooth, right?
You know, it's funny. I didn't even ask him what it's made out of.
Okay, it's a good follow-up question.
But I do have. I don't have bovine. I have cadaver bone in my jaw.
Okay.
So,
All right.
that's my implant, though. That's not the
Yeah.
Dead man jaw.
dead man jaw.
Prison was rough on you, wasn't it?
What's that?
That prison trip was rough.
It was rough. I'm telling you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Bourbon Boys, the podcast where guys get together to talk about bourbon, about life, lore, and libation, and everything that comes with being a dad. We aren't bourbon snobs, just a group of guys who like bourbon for what it is and how it tastes. Pretty simple. This is Bourbon Podcast. This is
21.
This is podcast number 21, and I'm Kratt. Along with me are my Bourbon Boys, Alton,
Hello.
Kurt,
Hey there.
myself, and Dew.
Yo.
Tonight we've got 3 new bourbons to taste in front of us.
Yeah.
What do we have here first? That's right. Old Man of the Mountain. Sounds kind of grisly. Sugar House
That one's really good.
and Savannah. So 3 interesting bourbons. 2 of which have got really cool kind of old school logos, and the other one is not so much old school, but it says Savannah.
Kind of art school.
Yeah.
Scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. So it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. The last time we were all together was
When you're in prison.
In prison.
Yeah.
With Sebastian.
Well, we were together last Wednesday, but
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Are we pouring?
it's almost like we don't know what to do.
I was like, what is this all about?
All right.
Well, a little bit of backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime any of us travels, we're always scouting for non-ABC restricted bourbon.
Yep.
And so tonight we're going to taste bourbon scores from our travels.
Yep. And
I don't think you can get any of these in North Carolina.
no.
I've never seen any of them.
No. And I don't even know what kind of distribution they have really outside of the region.
Right.
So,
Fair to say these are all like craft size, small distillers, just kind of getting there.
And I know,
their
obviously,
feet wet.
the Savannah bottle was one that Kurt just recently picked up on a trip, right?
Yep.
And where did Old Man of the Mountain?
Old Man of the Mountain is from New Hampshire, Tamworth Distillery, New Hampshire.
Got it. So that was
Our Christmas trip up north to see the
family. Yep.
I got that from my in-laws as a Christmas gift.
Ooh.
very nice.
Yeah, it's very
So the
good.
question is, what was the split of time at the distillery and at the in-laws?
We were able to drop in there. I think we dropped in there on like a Sunday, which was really unusual. Yeah, we were there during COVID, so they didn't have any tours or anything, but the tasting room was open, and we were able to go through the gift shop and pick up some bourbon. I think the last of it too.
Yeah, I can't say that if my in-laws gave me a bottle of bourbon that it would have anything left in it by the end of the trip. That's pretty impressive. You must like your in-laws.
We do. They are good. They're good people. Lucky.
He didn't tell you there were 4 bottles before that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the last man standing right here.
And then Sugar House.
Sugar House. Yeah, we took a pre-Christmas trip to Park City.
Got it.
The 4 of us went skiing and hit the local Park City liquor store looking for a bourbon selection. Didn't really find much of anything, but we did stumble on this one local Sugar House. They're out of South Salt Lake City, so it didn't actually make it by the distillery, but picked up the bottle, muled it home in the bottom of the suitcase, and it turned to be a good find.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So we snuck and tasted this one
did.
before. Yeah,
That's right. We did. Yep. Forgot about that.
Yep.
I must not have been there for that one.
Wow.
Yeah,
See how it feels?
right. Yeah.
Kurt, get him.
It actually doesn't feel that bad. So I don't know what he's been whining about all these years. So it's all good.
All right. Well, what do you guys want to start with?
Let's start out west.
All right.
I'm down for the Sugar
Oh, that's
House.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let me get a pour, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. There's not a ton of information available.
Comes in a bottle.
Stout little bottle.
Yeah.
It is a cool
It's a
bottle.
glass
I mean,
bottle, yeah.
it is. I mean, I really like the. I know we always go here, but I do like the label. It's got some cool branding going on, and
Yeah. That
Very,
is- that
very
is-
Western.
It is. Yeah. That's something about this category too. Is the labels are really really cool.
Yeah.
Like just in the entire category, I think it's got to be pretty competitive.
So these guys are in Salt Lake City, South Salt Lake. They got their federal license in 2013, I guess, and their state license in 2014, or vice versa. They got a full line, rums, vodkas, etc. Didn't get an age on the bourbon, actually. It's a 92 proof, very high corn, I think like 75 corn, 20 and 5.
you can smell the sweetness in it.
Yeah, which is what I like about it, because I'm a really sweet guy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't smell anything right now, but I can't taste
You can
it.
feel it.
It's got a nice little burn to it.
I remember this one. This was really good.
This is really good.
Yeah, I think we popped this one New Year's Eve, I think, when you guys were
That's
over.
right.
Yep.
Yep.
So, do you know
Good
any
color to it.
Do you know anything about the mash bill itself, or?
Do you listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
I know you just said it was high corn. He didn't.
You just rattle it off.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm
Percentages.
sorry. I must have been pouring at the time.
That's what you're enjoying. You're savoring. Savoring.
Where's this from?
Kurt was concentrating. Had to make sure he
Full
got
of
it in the glass.
razapam.
That little raspberry.
75-25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very welcome.
Thank you for not mocking me about that.
It's just too easy.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. It's like,
That's why I'm here.
is he serious? So early? He's standing up so
This
early?
is why I love your sister.
She's got your back.
She's got my back. That's right.
Even Amanda's moved on by now.
Whatever. I don't think so. You'd have nothing to laugh about. You'd have
I do like
boring old grumpy Dave here.
What are we tasting?
Apparently corn, since there's a lot of
There's
it
a
in
lot
it.
of
so
sweetness. I do like the smooth. It's very smooth.
It does have a little bit of a, almost like a toffee taste to it for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm picking up on that.
Yep.
Yep. I get a little bit of the oak. I don't, like I said, I can't find an age on this. See how long it was in the barrel, but
I would guess not too long.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm finding with a lot of these, like almost like craft distilleries, is that most of them are fairly young.
Yep.
And so usually what they're putting out is around 3-4 years old. That, you know, when I look at Savannah, it's kind of the same thing. And another one that we'll talk about another time. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these, that's what I'm finding with a lot of the craft distillers, is that you're seeing a lot of like early, you're not seeing the 9 years, the 10 years and so forth. So
Yep.
Cherry.
You got cherry?
cherry.
I have like, and I don't know if it's suggested because of the name sugar, but I get like a burnt sugar.
Yeah.
Like a, not quite a cotton candy sweetness, but like a burnt.
Not a brown sugar.
Not a brown sugar.
No.
Nope.
It's like a burnt sugar. I don't know. But it's really good.
It's really good. It's got a great amber color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The color's
looks really
great.
good.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Which I would guess, like you said, you don't know how old it is, but I would guess to get that color,
Yeah.
you're past
No,
2 years, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Maybe
for sure.
into the 4.
Alton was at like $45-$50.
$40.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
It
good.
was on the shelf at
Yeah.
$39.99 actually.
That's not
But
bad.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not bad.
very
That's not
good. Yeah. And like I said, I was really surprised with the popularity of the category that in Park City proper. I mean, this was a downtown
You would
store.
think there'd be a lot.
There was really, like I said, there was a couple of bottles of Jack and Jim, and that was the only other option. Yeah.
Man.
Kurt, we should
Well, it is Salt Lake.
talk to those guys, Kurt.
Yeah.
How far from Salt Lake is Park City?
30.
Hour or two?
No, 30, 45 minutes. Yeah, depending on where
So
depending on what
that
part
same
of
geography?
Yeah. Yep.
But I think I told you guys the best drink I've had is in Salt Lake City.
That was that smoked one,
Yeah,
right?
it was an incredible drink. I don't even know what he put in it, but it definitely was smoked for sure.
Okay.
But it was kind of like a craft bartender, and he asked a few questions and made a drink. So
I love that.
yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
It'd be cool if there was a bar like that completely. Like there were no drinks on the menu. It's like 3 questions and they mix it up for you.
That'd be wild.
3 questions. Here's your fuzzy navel.
Yeah.
Your 3 questions. Here's your fuzzy navel.
you look like a pink lady to me.
How do I need to answer it next time? Like you're thinking ahead. If you want this kind of a drink, you got to answer it this way.
Yeah, exactly. So you were asking about how far Salt Lake City to Park City. So, not to go far on the trip, but that's one of the best parts about skiing in Park City. You can fly into Salt Lake City. You're less than an hour from Park City. So it's easy drive. You can actually fly in and ski the same day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Really easy to get around. So,
Did you take the family jet, and just like dropped in?
Just
ski?
just a day trip. Yeah, I let Sam drive.
Helicopter.
You let Sam drive. Sam had it.
Okay, you don't drive a plane, by the way.
Exactly.
Oh, have you seen Sam? He drives. Trust me.
No, but I mean, you're right. There's so much good skiing down there too. I mean, I skied at Alta down there, and one other one I can't remember, but it's great. It's some of the best skiing I've done, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Where'd you guys ski?
We skied at Deer Valley, which we ski there. I think this was our 3rd or 4th time skiing there. We skied at Alta. Great terrain in Alta, and then we skied this time at Park City as well, which is now Park City and the canyons together. So some great slopes.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So can't go wrong.
Well, I'm going to take this bottle of Sugar House and go sit on the sofa and let you guys finish the skiing podcast.
Might as well do something productive.
Yeah.
I like it. Taste.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I gave myself too healthy a pour. Give me a minute.
Well, we know what happens when Derek does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
His Uber.
Just crawl right into bed.
Sorry, the pool's not open tonight. That was one of the more funny nights, though, I have to say, because the storm thing was hilarious to me.
That was a five bottle night.
That was a 5-bottle night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Name storms. Nor'easter is not
Nor'easter.
a storm name. Sandy is a storm name. Katrina is a storm name.
Perhaps you've heard of them.
I'm glad I got something for a change.
So definitely Sugar House, highly recommend. Good, smooth, sweet, easy drinking. And if you're coming back this way, bring me a bottle, please.
Yeah. Good question, though, on like the distribution. So I'm looking at the top here, and it says that this is, it's a small batch, right? So this is batch number 21.
Number 21, yeah.
So that's a low number.
Yeah.
And I forget, I should know this, but I forget how many bottles you can get out of one barrel. It's like 200 and something?
About 220, 250, depending on the
Size of the
evaporation.
Yeah.
Depending on
And the size of the bottle.
Okay.
All right, so this is still a relatively young to be on batch 21.
21 batches, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
21 barrels, perhaps, or
21
or
barrels
is
of
it
bourbon on the
suggested that
wall.
the batch is a mix of more barrels?
I would like to know
That'd be
how
my
long that's been in the barrel.
Yeah.
Let me see if the old internet has any extra information.
Oh, go to the Google truck.
Yep. That's the guys in the truck.
I'll be right back.
Those guys, they're awfully quiet.
Give Kurt a walkie-talkie. Get him to look that up. Kurt.
We're having some Wi-Fi issues.
Go for
Sugar
Kurt.
House Distillery, Kurt.
I like it.
Hurry up, man. We can't keep this going.
Yeah. Hey, let's move on and I'll catch up.
It's all fixed in the attic.
So Derek,
Yes.
take us to.
So in the same spirit of skiing,
Yeah.
right, we'll go from skiing out west to skiing up north, which is very icy.
Yeah,
Not a lot of great snow unless you have a fresh snowstorm.
New Hampshire, right?
We were in New Hampshire. Yep.
Okay.
So this is this distillery is relatively new. They bought like this historic inn and like completely renovated it. And from what I understand, and doing a little bit of research, they had a still custom made for them in out of Kentucky, and it's a still that they can do gin, vodka, bourbon, and brandy in because of the different stacks that they can basically reroute. Mm-hmm. So in a small footprint, they're able to produce a ton of different varieties. We went in there and they had some exotic brandies. They had spirits I had never heard of. They one of their distillers is a botanist, so he's always trying new things. And they have one of them. It's called the Corpse Flower. I think it's a brandy, and it's under glass because I think the smell is so repulsive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it's so they have this botanical line of kind of exotic drinks. Then they have a rye, which I brought down here too, the Chicora rye. So Chicora is a mountain right nearby, and this one is Old Man of the Mountain. And Old Man of the Mountain is there's a profile on the bottle in the upper left corner, which was a mountain in New Hampshire that its profile looks like a face, and within the last 10 years, the face fell off. So it's on all of their license plates. It's on all of their interstate signs, and now the face is gone. So
what's the DMV going to do?
The DMV still has the old website.
It'll take them 12 years to figure it out, believe me.
But these guys, small craft, they don't have the bourbon on hand anymore. So they sold out of the bourbon. I was just on their site today. It is bottled and bond. All the ingredients are from New Hampshire, so it's all locally and organically sourced within 150 miles of the distillery.
That's cool. And let's remind everybody what bottle and bond means again.
So bottle and bond is it is cut to 100 proof.
Okay.
So and that is going back to the Bottled and Bond Act. It is basically your word that nothing else is contaminating this. Where in the past they would add all sorts of crapaloo and
Turpentine.
and people would die from it.
Got it.
But this is a small batch or perhaps even single barrel bottled and bond. The mash bill is 82% corn, 12% rye, and 6% barley. And they do
82.
82. So real high in the local. It's a organic yellow corn. And it's a 4-year-old bourbon. So if you look at the color on that, that's going to give you a little bit of, indication of how long it's been in the barrel. They do a number 3 char in that one. So this one here, they say you're going to get notes of vanilla and caramel on the nose, and then more of a black cherry and black pepper.
Not white pepper. Not white pepper, but black pepper.
Black pepper. And a little bit of a warmer fruit cake.
I'm smelling apricot.
You got apricot. All right.
Warm fruit cake.
and some warm
Uncle Billy.
Warm fruit cake.
Warm fruit cake is bad enough, much less warm fruit cake.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants a warm fruit cake.
It's
interesting that they, because I didn't mention it, the Bourbon Sugar House from Utah, they also claim that, hey, we source all our materials locally.
Yeah.
As do several of the other crafts that we've seen or tried. Okay, is that a marketing ploy just to say, hey, it's too expensive to bring it in from further out? So let's at least take credit for it. I mean, I'm sure it adds to the locality of it somewhat, and it's the right thing to do. But it's like, is that really?
You're limiting yourself if your corn sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm wondering though if it's kind of one helping the other out, right? It's like so you think about small businesses and kind of rallying together around each other, but
that's a great question.
So do we have the mash bill on this? I'm totally kidding.
I'm totally kidding.
Well
for
played.
Just a second.
Well played.
Just a second, I was
But
like, come on.
it was great to see what your face said on that one.
You know how I feel.
The first sip of this did not do much for me at all.
No.
But it's growing on me.
All right.
But it's weird. It's just definitely I don't know if it's just a weird thing with me and my allergies right now, but apricot. Definitely apricot.
I do like apricot.
I think you just like to say that word. And it's apricot. It's not an apricot.
That is a northern southern.
It is.
Scallops, apricot. Apricot.
I'm sorry. What parcels of land do you both own?
Since when do you apologize?
That's a good point.
No, but
Please pronounce it correctly.
I'm getting something too. I mean, I actually do like it, but I will tell you, between the two, I like the Sugar House a little better.
It's hard to compare the two of these.
What's funny to me that the Sugar House almost feels like it has a little more sweetness to it.
I was just going to say.
But
And
yours
it's a
is
higher
82% corn.
Yeah.
It's a little warmer too with 100 proof. There's something
that could be it.
There's something that's not settling in there. It's I can't figure out put my finger on. There's an unusual taste to it.
Are you getting the metallic?
Yes.
Leather. There's a leather taste to it, too.
Oh, yeah. Good
Dave
call.
always
Leather.
gets leather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a metallic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
It's
tingling
bond.
the
Yep.
inside of my lip.
Yep.
So yeah,
And
there's
that's
something.
like that pepper. That pepper will give you the pepper. Will give you a little bit of that metallic taste, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of it's almost like a spice, and it probably leans more towards the pepper. I don't want to say clove because I don't think it's that strong, but
There's something
it
there.
lingers.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
there's
Sugar House didn't linger. The Sugar House was super smooth. I thought it was.
Yep.
And it had a good finish to it, but nothing that lingered. Like this lingers right in the back of my throat.
Yeah, I like the warmth of this and the fact that it sticks around. The flavor itself is not
It doesn't
that
dissipate.
awesome.
Yeah. I don't
it's
get
just
the
the-
vanilla
the-
on the nose. I'm with you. When you said leather, I was like, that is a fresh,
different.
like a fresh polished leather.
Yeah, kind of like getting your arm amputated without any anesthetic, and you're like biting
but I
down
mean-
on a belt.
Oh, that leather.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bottled in bond.
Like the prison, remember that in prison?
It's one time
You're going to
we-
get your
we
tattoo,
pulled-
and you're going to like
We
it.
pulled Kurt's teeth out in prison.
Actually, that would have been a good story. Probably would have been a lot cheaper too. I don't want to describe it as such because it's not fair to the bourbon, but it almost has like a rusty lingering for me. Like after I take it, it hits the back of my tongue almost like rusty water.
Here's a visual.
After I take it.
Honest to God, why do I even come here?
Apricot. You come
For the bourbon.
for the apricots.
Yeah.
At least we haven't talked about Parmesan yet.
It's coming. Trust me.
But it's a very different taste. And to your question about corn and local sourced, I wonder if like when we talked about, they're all working from the same ingredients in the mash bill, plus or minus,
Yeah.
local water, local ingredients. I'm wondering when you start to get like, yes, that's what makes Old Man of the Mountain taste very different from Sugar House is.
It's just definitely
Locally sourced.
a very distinct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like you, and I can't really figure out what it is. And it's not a bad taste. It's
No,
just
it's
very
just
different.
different.
Yeah,
It's just different.
It's almost like the Willet pot still. When we drank that, we're like, this has got a licorice to it that
No, I don't
is
agree
different.
with
Okay.
that. Willet pot still's a lot better than that.
No. We're saying how it's just a very distinctive taste.
Oh,
like it is a
okay.
bourbon.
Okay.
But that one had such a
Okay.
heavy
All right.
anisette.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a little bit of a licorice
I'll accept
taste to
that.
this too.
Is there? A little black licorice?
You're going to end up at Parmesan. You keep going.
I'm trying to get out of them. It won't go there.
I got no Parmesan.
Try again.
Try again.
Try again.
Keep trying, Dave. Keep trying.
Yeah, it's
Keep
just interesting.
trying.
But there is something admirable about these small guys who are
Yeah.
giving it a shot. And
Yep.
with the exception of a couple that we've had that were small that just
Didn't work so well.
Needed
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
time in the barrel.
Yeah.
The packaging though.
Yeah.
I mean the label and then the other brand of beer that I can't pronounce because
It's
anyways.
CHO, but it's Chicora.
Yeah. But they've got like there's a novel on this bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Alton will have to hold it like 8 feet away. So I
Their
can read it.
whole
It says lorem ipsum.
lore.
There's not enough pictures for me. I'm moving on to that. So,
Their packaging across their line too.
Yeah.
They put a lot of energy into custom
yeah, you
bottles.
shared some pictures from when you guys were in there, right? This was
that
the
was
place?
the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. They have some that were like, 6-sided bottles. Very like if you walked into that place and it was covered in dust, you'd be like, man, this was a cool place 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the style they've gone for, which
Yeah.
is like this
That is actually a very cool
botanical
bottle.
apothecary.
Yeah.
Medicinal.
So, did you get a chance to hit any of the liquor stores or anything in the area? I mean, what kind of a selection do they?
Yeah, they're also an ABC
Okay.
in New Hampshire, but they They have a little bit more than North Carolina, but not a whole lot more.
Okay.
So this was direct from. I couldn't find this in the New Hampshire state liquor stores, but this was from the distillery itself. So
Okay.
Derek, that was I'm going to say $65 bottle.
I think you're dead on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you're dialed in, dead on 65.
Well, Bob Barker.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Bob? No, Bob's
I don't
dead.
think so.
No, he's alive.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Really?
alive.
Drew Carey just knocked him out of the way.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought Adam Sandler did.
He tried.
Big
Got his ass
All
kicked.
right, focus, boys, focus.
Price is wrong, Bob.
Price is wrong. Exactly. Wow, $65 for that bottle.
Yeah. A
Well,
lot
I think-
goes into it.
Yeah, I get it.
I'd say $20 of that is in the design of the bottle, not necessarily the bourbon.
So this is batch number back to, I just
Yeah.
saw this batch number 14.
Right.
So again, they're still relatively new at it.
Right. They
Yeah,
have, they
I
have
mean,
a nice line of other liquors too, other spirits.
so when you say other spirits, like what kind of spirits are you talking about?
So they had vodkas. They had a lot of botanicals. They
Okay.
had gins or gin. I'm not sure if they're multiple gins, but gin. Lots of brandies. They had a few that were, I don't know what type of spirit it is, but they had they were able to get some of the oil from a gland from a beaver into it, and I was like, I don't.
Okay.
I applaud the
Too
effort.
easy. Don't go too easy.
I'm out.
Too easy.
I'm out.
I just watched Kratt's face as he's like,
I knew that's what
got,
it tasted.
got nothing.
Oh, the flashback.
But then they had the corpse flower one too, and those are $95 a bottle.
Yeah.
So very small runs, very small bottles.
Yeah. Well, that's,
Viewers aren't very patient.
no, but that sounds like
To catch one,
it does.
Then to
It's,
talk them into that.
yeah. Well, I'll get to it later. So we're talking a little bit about another place that we're going to be talking about at another time. But all right, should we move on to Savannah?
sure.
All right. So Liz and I were just in Savannah for a long weekend, and first time. I don't know. Have you guys been?
Oh, yeah.
Good city.
Very
Yeah.
haunted.
City.
Very
You guys,
haunted.
you should go. It's
Super cool.
Never been.
My first couple of trips to Savannah were college spring break trips. So,
to Savannah.
oh man, they dye the river, and it goes crazy after dark.
Okay.
Or at least it did 20 some odd years ago.
No, I can see where that still happens. It's still pretty crazy down there in the historic district, especially close by the river. So this one's pretty interesting. Funny story how I discovered this one. I can't say it was actually in the liquor store. We stopped at a great restaurant, and it was like 4 PM. Liz and I just needed like a little snack, and so we dropped in this little sushi place, and Rob, the bartender, introduced me to Savannah, and it was just a great find. Like it's, I actually really liked it. So Liz and I made a little trip to I think it's called Habersham or Habersham's liquor store, and talked to. How am I supposed to focus around that? I didn't know you had a drawbridge in the front yard. There must be a boat going through. So anyway, this is a really interesting one. I'm going to go back a little bit though, because Derek, you've never been to Savannah, but this was my first time to Savannah, and it's actually a very cool city. I'm not really into history and all that kind of stuff, so a lot of that didn't really do it for me. But it's a very cool city. The architecture is incredibly cool. I did not know actually that. Well, it was founded in 1733. And the name actually got its name from the Savannah River, which actually took its name from the immigrant band of Shawnee Indians, known as Savannah, without the H.
That's America's first planned city, right?
Yeah, it is. So, are you reading my notes? Yes.
I was impressed.
So anyway,
Wait, what?
So it was founded in 1733. It is America's first planned city. So Oglethorpe, who was a general who came with 120 immigrants and who landed at Savannah, actually laid out the city in a series of grids, and that's where the first kind of idea of a planned city came into play. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So just thought I'd share that with you.
What'd you say the mash bill was?
Haven't gotten there yet. We're not even talking about the bourbon yet. So first planned city, it had 24 original squares with 22 that still exist today. And that's the cool part about Savannah. Like when you walk around that city, it is all gridded, but like you suddenly run into a square and they have beautiful landscaping, like these amazing trees. I can't remember what kind of trees they are. Dave, help me out.
Live oak.
So they're live oak with moss, like this
Spanish
moss that just like hangs over, and it's really kind of cool because when you walk into these squares, you actually feel like you're in this canopy, like you're underneath.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just such a great city. So I would highly recommend it for anybody. But it also was one of the more strategic port cities during the American Revolution and during the American Civil War. So it played a lot of roles. I know. Listen, I got to give you something because I don't have much on the bourbon. So
I thought you weren't into history.
I'm not. This is called cut and paste from the internet. But anyway, so getting to the bourbon, it's called Savannah. I had a really hard time finding a lot of good information on it. So I could not find like how old the distillery is. I think they're fairly young. What is interesting is that it consists of 8 grains, including a coastal rye and a red winter wheat, and then also a silver
rye and a wheat
and a silver queen corn, which is part of the mash bill, but they don't actually give you the mash bill. So sorry guys. It's produced by Savannah Bourbon Company. It's an 88 proof whiskey. Oh, wait a second. No, it's a bourbon. Sorry,
it's still a whiskey too.
God, you almost made Derek throw up.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Exactly. I tricked him one time.
But
we're not going to do that again.
Much like the other ones, it's actually it's only available in Georgia, so you can't get it outside of the state. The distillery itself was actually founded by Georgia natives, and it makes premium spirits using the water from a natural spring in Georgia's Blue Ridge Mountains in the city of Blairsville. So. So what we're tasting right now. You okay?
What? No, just a quick edit break. Are we interviewing these people?
No.
So you can tear them apart.
Good.
Yeah. So, okay, be a little kind because if we do want to talk to them, so
No, we're good.
Okay. So,
we're full.
I love your
Our schedule
all right.
is so
Do I need
full.
to keep going?
Keep going. We,
All
need,
right.
we
Yeah,
owe it to the
God,
readers.
you guys are
Right.
so,
Or listeners, whatever.
You
Yes.
guys are so judgy.
Do it for Wasim.
So judgy.
Our number one fan.
He's the
Right.
one listening.
So it's Georgia's first bourbon brought to the market since Prohibition. So that was in 2014. So that will give you a little bit of an
That's a
age
long
based on.
run from Prohibition.
So they offer a straight bourbon, which we're tasting, a sweet tea bourbon, and a honey bourbon with Savannah Bee Company and Savannah Vodka.
Liars.
Both made with mountain spring water. Okay. And it's gluten-free.
With a hint of beaver.
With a hint of beaver. Anyway.
We're going to have to do a whole section on gluten-free at some point because
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think that's...
this has wheat in it.
Yeah.
But they say that it's the vapor of it, so it's not the actual grain.
It's not the actual grain.
So some scientists are saying every whiskey is gluten free because you're not pressing the liquid out of it; it's the evaporation. It's a distillation of it. But this is our first that's a wheat and rye and corn. It's either a wheated bourbon or it's a rye bourbon. This is the first that we've had.
That's
Both wheat and rye in it.
It's 95 corn, 2.5 rye, 2.5 wheat.
You think they come
Well,
with
it
that?
could be because they use a lot. They use a lot of corn in this.
Yeah. And it's you said it was sweet corn?
It did not say it was sweet corn.
Okay. I thought you did.
We said
said
it was,
queen something
queen
corn.
something like sweet queen.
Queen. It was silver queen corn.
Silver Queen, which is a
Queen.
really sweet corn.
Okay. All right.
Is that a Fleetwood Mac song too? Sweet queen.
So
Silver queen.
Yeah.
I
literally know
didn't know
about
this. Okay, focus, guys. So, U.S.
Mr.
Congress
Jansen's at the chalkboard.
exactly. So, U.S. Congress declared bourbon America's native spirit in what year?
1967.
54.
58.
64.
I had 64 as my first guess, but I was like, that's a little too early.
Too bad you went over, so you lose.
I was going to say, if you do that on The Price is Right, you lose.
Have a seat.
So listen, it's not necessarily like the best bourbon we've had, but okay,
Truth.
But I'm going to bring you guys back. So, but for somebody who's trying it for the first time, I actually think this is a pretty mild bourbon from a standpoint of taste. I don't think it has it doesn't have. I mean, I really liked Old Man Mountain and the one from Utah.
Yeah, Sugar House.
But both of those had a little bit of a hit to it. And I think this actually, while it doesn't have maybe the quality of what we like for a bourbon, I think for somebody trying for the first time, to me, it does have a lot of sweetness in it. So I'm not saying it's the greatest bourbon, but I actually think for somebody trying it for the first time, it actually might not be bad. Or it's a good mixer.
How much was it a bottle?
It ranges between $29.99 and $32.
And what, that was 32?
No, I think I paid $29 for it.
Okay.
That's better.
That makes
Yeah.
me feel
I mean, because it's not. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of. I mean, very short. I mean, the flavor.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of it, but it comes and goes really quick.
And it's only 88 proof, so
yeah. Talk a little bit about one of the things we talked about. We did it earlier. Talk about the brand. The branding, the bottle, the style, or whatever.
Yeah.
It really, to me, doesn't fit with Savannah. You just spend all the time talking about the history of Savannah and the role it's played, and bringing back the first bourbon since Prohibition or whatever. And it's like this bottle looks like metro, very urban.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't capture Savannah. It also doesn't capture bourbon. I mean, it just feels very.
It's interesting.
It's modern.
yeah.
modern.
I mean, what I wonder is if it's tapping into a little bit of the SCAD world, and even at that, I would say it's still not great.
Could be. You're right.
But
more
Savannah
artsy.
is SCAD. That whole city is
You
SCAD.
could argue that that's a SCAD bottle too.
Sure, you could. Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Listen, this one it was interesting because it's almost like a mystery bourbon because you cannot find much on it. They have a website, but the website is super minimal. It doesn't tell their story. It's yeah. So, but I actually don't mind it. I mean, it's not something I would regularly put in my cabinet, but I actually don't mind it. So.
I think for the price point too.
Yeah.
That's not a bad mixer. Like when you were saying that they have a sweet tea version, and you go, okay, that's getting a little bit of a southern flair to it, but you're not mixing it.
No, because I think part of the purpose behind a mixer is that's too smooth. In my mind, you would not get a bourbon flavor out of that.
You think that the tea would dominate?
Yeah, and Kurt, first of all, I totally agree with you. I mean, more power to anybody that's got the courage to go out and do something like that. Otherwise, I mean, here's the four of us sitting here. We're talking about it. We're not doing it.
Right, exactly.
And so I don't want to diminish that at all. But to me, this is just there's no bite. There's no real. It's like corn syrup.
But what if you made like a bourbon sour out of that? You throw a little lemon juice with it.
But I don't know that
you're
you're
saying
get,
that you're afraid that it just doesn't have enough dominant flavor.
I mean, I think that's where like a Wild Turkey 101 as an old fashioned to me is like boom. You
can feel it.
You get the bitters, you get the orange bit, and then all of a sudden there's that there's the pepper, there's the heat, and it's just not there.
I don't disagree with you. I guess let's go back to when we did our first recording, right? We had tasted very minimal bourbon, so we wouldn't if we had drunk that a year and a half ago, we'd have been like, holy shit. So I do think our palates have, I don't know if they've changed. I think they've adapted, or we've just learned a little bit more, but I don't disagree with you. Again, I don't necessarily think it's a great bourbon, but if somebody came to my house and like, I've never had bourbon before, well, I'm not going to give them Booker's. And usually I introduce them to TX because it's got a little sweetness with the vanilla. That's a whiskey, but it at least starts to get them into the brown spirit space.
Totally agree.
I mean, it's light. The color's not super rich. It's
this is one that would be interesting to watch just to see how kind of they evolve and maybe find their own flavor.
Yeah.
But again, what to me is really missing is just the character and the true essence of bourbon is not in there.
No, I agree. And it's funny because when I bought this, the guy at the liquor store, he's like, yeah. He's like, it's not even made in Savannah. So he's like, I don't really understand why it's called Savannah. But he's like,
selling it hard.
So no, he sold Fiddler really hard because, and we'll talk about that another time. But we did go to. Listen, it's a great city. All in all, I would highly recommend it. Dave, Derek, if you've never been, you and Deb should definitely go down. It's a lot of fun.
You guys would love it.
You'd love it.
It's a wonderful
You'd
city.
absolutely love it. We have a great place for you to stay. But when we were there, I do want to call this out. We went to this place called Artillery. I think I told you guys about this on Wednesday. Just a really cool place, and they had all these like.
Is this the place you were sending pictures of?
Yeah, they had
really cool looking.
Yeah, they called them contemporary cocktails, and they had limited seating. You had to be seated, and there was a service button at every seat. They would leave you alone unless you pushed your button, and if you pushed the button, the light went on. And the people there were just so great. Like we talked to the manager there, and he just gave us all kinds of great information. But yeah, we sat there for a couple hours, had a couple drinks, and it was awesome. Yeah, that's cool. If you're ever there, I would definitely recommend going there.
All right.
So Alton, you and I typically have similar taste. What are you picking up on this one?
Yeah, not a ton of flavor. I mean, this doesn't have the richness and maturity. I mean, it's got the taste isn't bad. It's short. It's got a lot of vanilla.
Yeah,
and it is sweet, but a little flat. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not a bad one, especially at that price point.
Right.
So I would never turn down a bottle, but at the same time, it's not going to. For all the ones we tried, it's not comparable to some of the richness we've been able to find.
Yeah,
so
for sure,
totally agree.
Yeah,
I do think it'll be interesting to watch and just see if they come out with something maybe a little bit higher proof, get a little bit more heat to it, a little more flavor.
Yeah.
So
outside of St. Augustine, that's probably the more southern one that we have tried, right?
Probably,
I think so. Yeah.
The farthest.
And so, I'd be curious to see, like, when you're that far south, are you getting the temperature swings like you would in Tennessee, Kentucky? Belt.
So the guy at St. Augustine, obviously everybody has their angle, and we did this tour many years ago before I even really began to appreciate bourbon. His comparison at that point was you get the seasonal shift like in a Kentucky rick house, as major climate changes. In Florida, you get the pounding heat of the day to the coolness of the night. So you're getting a 40-degree temperature swing. So
every day.
Their pitch was it's a whole lot. It's shorter duration, but it's happening every day.
And this guy, if you go on their website, there is a video. There's an interview with the guy who started this place.
Yep.
And he talks exactly about that. He's like, we have the richness of this like really hot, humid weather. And the fluctuations, and he's like, what that enables the bourbon to do is really soak into the oak and then extract out. So he's like, and I think to your point, it just happens faster versus
more frequently
over this period of time. Yeah,
that's interesting.
So,
I hadn't thought of it that way, but you're right. You get it. I don't think you can say you get a season in a day, but you get those big squeezes and pushes if the wood can keep up with it.
Yeah.
But listen, Savannah. So here's a cool thing. So I went to another place there.
Okay.
A new distillery that opened a couple years ago called Ghost Coast, and they are actually about a block off of the river, and they just opened a new facility a little bit ago. But what's cool about them, and they sound a little bit like what you were talking about with Old Man Mountain, although I think it's a little more extensive. They actually they do such an array of different spirits, which was cool because we got 2 flights while we were there, and we did their bourbon. We did, they have like Fernets, and they have aperitifs, and they have liqueurs, and they do whiskey. They do, I think there's a vodka, but the one thing that we bought.
Do. I like it when you do.
Da da da, right? Come on.
I know.
But anyway, they also we bought an herbal bitters from them.
Okay.
And it comes in a full-size bottle, and it's amazing for drinking at night
That's like a lifetime
after
of bitters.
dinner. Yeah, but it's not bitters how you're thinking about bitters. It's not like an Angostura bitters type of thing. It's a certain kind of herbal bitters.
So by the way, pause on that. You're the only one that can say that name for the bitters
Angostura?
Yeah, it's smoothly and correctly.
Okay.
So
Well, because I'm working with them, so that might help.
I know. But it's like the only time I've actually heard it said. I've usually just read it.
I know exactly. When I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, I still can't say it.
Which that could be a whole nother podcast, but that's a really great brand.
Okay.
But they make this. I can't remember it's an herbal bitters, but there's a word in front of me. I just can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it looks like white wine. And we tried it, and Liz was like, "Oh my God, we got to get a bottle of this."
You tried it just straight, like as a drink?
Yeah.
Bitters? Not mixed in as mixed in bitters.
We drank it straight, and it was part of our flight. And we bought a full-size bottle, and we actually had some after dinner the other night. It was amazing.
Good palate cleanser.
Amazing.
Like as an after-dinner drink.
Yeah. It was
cool. Aperitif.
It was great. It was like an aperitif, but it was just these herbal bitters. And
Alton, what do they say?
I don't know. Does anybody else know what an aperitif? I heard someone say something about fresh nuts while ago.
No, it's
like, what was
aperitif.
that?
I think that's like
I've
when
been
we would go
calling
out on
it
the front porch
aperitif.
after dinner and
No,
drink a
it's
cold
aperitif.
beer.
Okay. It's an aperitif.
And Fernet. Have you guys had Fernet?
Yes.
Okay.
A what?
They make a Fernet, but the Fernet, we didn't really care for the Fernet. But in any event, so I talked to them. Come on,
hell are they
guys.
talking about?
Back in. Come on, guys.
Seriously, I don't know what a hairnet is.
Is that is that like a mink hairnet?
We're going back to, this is like the nor'easter story.
It's for beavers.
It all comes
That's
back
how
to
you
the
got them
beaver.
this whole still?
It's not.
You put them in a fernet?
No, a Fernet is almost like a vermouth, and it's
Not
like
Vermont.
It's like an after dinner type of thing where you just
It's not
you
a
just
steak.
sip it.
Interesting.
Okay. My daughter loves Fernets. That's it's like her thing right now. So in any event,
Alton, what the hell is happening here? Good Lord.
I'm not very comfortable.
okay, guys,
I'm not either.
Can we come back to the story, please?
Is this about the beaver?
No. But listen, I talked to one of the managers there. Had a great conversation. Unfortunately, the distiller wasn't there. But they want to talk to us, and so I think next round we're going to potentially be interviewing.
This is the place.
They might not want to talk to us anymore.
We have a lot of work to do before then.
Seriously,
Usually
the
when
things
they
I do to try to shut up.
Is this the group that does the hairnets?
Okay, you are not bidding us good points here right now. Come on. Seriously, like this is a great place, and they have a really great location, and their operation looks pretty cool. We obviously couldn't go in because of COVID right now.
As long as we get to drink their bourbon, I'm happy.
Yes.
I have a bottle of it sitting at home.
All right.
I could give a shit about it.
So it's called Ghost Ghosts. I'll share
Let's do
those
it.
with Derek since you guys don't seem interested.
Love it.
But in any event, so we're gonna be talking to them guys, doing a staring down the barrel with Chris, who's one of the owners there, and
Awesome.
yeah, it'll be fun.
All right.
Kurt, thanks for arranging that. You are
like it.
You're the staring down the barrel master.
I don't know about that.
No, you are. Seriously,
Yeah.
so far,
Yeah.
that's like all of them have come from Kurt. So
Yeah. Nice job.
Kurt, these guys, I think, should be on your list.
See how that feels?
Sugar House.
Just take it in. Just take it in.
Well, I had nothing to do with them, and I think
So these are the next guys right here.
all right.
All right. So last call, Dave.
Wow.
What's our scenario?
I don't know. I'm not doing last call.
Okay. So I'm
Dave's
gonna
doing
do-
it.
I'll do the scenario.
Okay.
Apparently
All right, cool.
Dave didn't know
I'm
he
gonna
was
finish the Savannah while we're doing that.
This is gonna be a long one. All right. So last call.
Yeah.
Let me think through this for a
Okay.
second. Hold on, there's a little bit of imbalance.
That's
here.
okay.
Let me put the modern in the middle. So I've got our two
Can I
old
have-
school looking labels.
Can I have a little more of this Sugar House?
Have all you want.
That's a good one.
Just like Eddie said, you open a bottle to drink it, right?
I apologize, Alton. I thought anybody's bottle on the table was
Amen.
anybody's bottle.
It is.
good.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
I was taught to ask.
Dang. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something current that we could do. Okay. I think I got it.
Got it.
for it.
Go.
College professor. Your favorite college professor.
Okay.
Dr. Jansen, as an example.
Paging Dr. Jensen.
At the chalkboard, preaching the history of Savannah, which honestly anybody that has never been there really needs to go because it's
It is a
fantastic
great
place.
city. Yeah, it really is.
So you run into this college professor, and this was a professor that made an impact on you.
That's me.
and you know that they are, in fact, a bourbon drinker. So you run into them at a bar in Savannah, and these 3 bourbons are there. Which one are you going to pick?
Nice job.
Well, here's the problem, though. These don't distribute outside of state, so they couldn't be in the bar in Savannah.
And Kurt,
Just go with it.
the chances of you running into those.
He's finally got his moment.
Just go with it. Just go with it. If that had been me making this up, you'd have been like, "You're right, Dave."
Yeah,
Well, I think the
How
key
is
part.
John Travolta?
I think the key part, the key part that you just said that you missed was that we're making all this up.
Yeah,
all
that's
right, all
okay.
right. So,
Yep.
which bourbon are you going to order for your professor, and what topic are you going to discuss?
All right.
I'd like to go last.
Okay. Derek, why don't you go and go?
No, listen. I'll step in. I'll go.
All right.
I'll go to give you some time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So curious.
I probably would do the Sugar House because I think it's a tough call, but I do think the Sugar House, for me personally, had just a really good taste over the Old Man Mountain. Is that what it's called? Old Man Mountain?
Old man of the mountain.
Yeah. Well, he's not of the mountain anymore. He's gone
It's
now.
old man
So,
on the bottom of the
which
mountain.
makes me
off
curious
the
what they're
mountain.
going to do with their branding.
Yep.
So,
Well, Tamworth.
It's the White Mountains, which the Appalachian Trail runs through. By the way.
yeah.
There you go.
I think I would. So it would be Sugar House, and I would ask him if he had to do one thing over again in his career, what would that be?
All right. What professor
And why?
and what impact did he have on your life, and why are you? You got to tie the character into the bourbon here.
All right, can I go last? What?
I love it.
I didn't hear the impact part.
Well, I mean, it's like you're running an old college professor, right? You got to
Right.
think about what is that character and what kind of bourbon do you think you want to line him up with. You just went straight to I'm going to pick this.
Okay. I'm going to go to Sugar House because if I think about all 3 of these, I think that there's a level of complexity that comes with the Sugar House compared to the other ones.
Got it.
And I think based on what he does and his career, that he would have an appreciation for that level of complexity that exists within the Sugar House compared to these other 2.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
You guys want me to go, or y'all still
right.
thinking?
no, I'm good. I'm
All
good.
right.
So I'm going to go. So, I do not have a college professor that I look back and think they set me on a course. So,
Agreed.
I had several that I enjoyed. None that I would be excited to run into a bar. Many that I wouldn't recognize, just quite honestly.
True.
So for me, I'm going to go Sugar House because that's what I want. And I'm going to talk to him about baseball because that's what I want to talk about.
Okay. Come on. Push back on him.
Well, I think we need another episode about Alton's college experience.
It was fine, and then again, I learned probably what I was supposed to, I guess, but
right.
I didn't.
Fair enough.
I didn't have, so anyway, that's me.
Okay.
Sugar House baseball.
Clemson.
If you don't like it, move on.
There you go.
Yep. Clemson alumni.
Exactly. Here, 2 national championships.
All right. Okay.
James Rasaki. No.
All right, Derek, what you got?
James is listening.
So I'm with Alton in that I didn't have a professor that changed my life, and but there is a professor that I continue to talk about years later. He was a physics professor.
Let's redo this one.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's okay.
I mean,
No. Let's redo it.
I'm going
because
to push
it's not
back
gonna
on
work.
you
It's not
guys
gonna work.
because
What?
this is all made up. So even if you
I don't
don't
know what that
have
is.
a professor that made an impact on you, just
Well, no, but
pretend.
it's a sucky ass last.
No, it's not bad. So let's just go with it and see how it turns out. So I had a physics professor at BC, and he was a first year teacher, and so everyone was on his case for like, okay, this is your first year, no mercy.
Yeah.
And this guy, he could not get any of his experiments to work all year long. Like everything was a fail. Like he would try something in class and it would fail. And so
Isn't that science?
it is, but I think that the class was like, so when are we going to see actual physics working?
In
Because he
action.
just couldn't get it going. And then I remember specifically this one class where he talked about the displacement, principle of displacement, meaning like if you stand on a nail or a tack, it's going to hurt a lot. But if you took 1,000 tacks and spread them out instead of the displacement of weight, doesn't hurt. So he proceeded to take a box of glass and shatter the glass into small pieces.
And look for volunteers.
No. Then he sits down, takes his shoes and socks off, and we're all like, dude, you're like 0 for 30 this year in your experiments.
This is not going your way.
This is not the one to do that.
Today's not your day.
I'm feeling good about this one. And sure as shit, it worked. The one experiment he did all year worked, and thankfully in his favor, because he would have bled out in that room. But he takes his shoes off and he gets in the box and he stands there, and you could tell from his face that he was like, thank you, Jesus. This is one physics principle that worked. So what I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately, but what I got from him was like the perseverance.
Yeah.
I got you've got an idea, you've got a belief. To your point, Kurt, it's science. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But man, he stuck with it. And we were all like, the entire room stopped breathing for a couple minutes. But we're like, who's going to go down and help this guy? And it worked.
That
stuck with me.
Did he get any respect out of you guys after that?
At that point, it was kind of like the beginning, like back in early 90s, it was a slow golf clap of like, all right, well done.
Okay.
Well done. Here's to you. This is the beginning of the Bud campaign. Here's to you, Mr. Broken Glass Displacement Theory physics teacher. But
that's good.
Yeah, so I don't remember his name. I could make it up. But that stuck with me as far as like the lesson that came out of it was less about the physics principle and more about he had a commitment. So in thinking of the guys or gals behind each of these bourbon labels, they've got a commitment, and whether we like the taste or not doesn't matter.
Right.
Their commitment to getting this done is an experiment, and they're pulling it through.
I mean, listen, and here's the reality. Somebody likes Savannah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So,
right.
But, you have to answer the question, because I actually want to go back and re-answer the question.
Okay. So,
taking a run at it.
Thank you, Derek.
Good luck with the edit here, Derek.
we had a class at Guilford. It was a capstone class, and you went through all your business classes, you had all your marketing classes, accounting, finance, everything. And it was one of those full semester classes, and there was about 12 people in the class. And it was Dr. Caudill, and he was a crotchety old man, smart as shit. Mm. But you did not want to get on the bad side of Dr. Caudill. And the class literally was the first day you walked in, and it's an hour and 15-minute long class. The first 30 minutes of the first class was him handing out a business case. Going through the business case, highlighting it, and saying, okay, I'll see you guys next week. And by the way, this is the way my class runs. I hand out a business case, and next week, I'm going to pick one person, and that person's going to sit in front of the class. I'm going to sit behind that person, and I'm going to ask questions about that business case and why you decided to go the way you wanted to go.
Dang.
And
I might not make it to that class.
It was
Dr. Colin, I'm a gambler.
Yeah, it was the most nerve-wracking class ever. And I'll never forget the guy that sat next to me. We took our first class 30-minute session download, and we were walking out the door, and the guy was like, I so have this. And I was like,
wow.
I was like, dude, I've been in class with you for the past 4 years.
You don't have this.
You're a sack of shit. You are gonna get absolutely burned. He goes, no, dude, I've got this. I was like, okay. Next week we went into class. Dr. Caudill got up and sat kind of at the front of the chair, at the front of the room with a chair. And before that, he had already set a chair in front of him. So the person that's sitting there could not see Dr. Caudill, but he could see the rest of the class. And he sits down and he goes, all right, I'm going to make this easy for folks. Who's going to volunteer? Otherwise, I'm just going to start, pulling people up front. And the guy that last week had said, I so got this, raised his hand. Says, I'll go. And sure as shit, that guy got up there. He didn't care how he performed. He just got it out of the way. And so for the rest of the semester, he didn't have to do anything.
That's brilliant.
But anyways,
that's brilliant.
That is smart.
Dr. Caudill was one of those guys where what I learned from him was, you get put in front of a major leader of an organization, you've got to make a pitch. there ain't no one else out there scarier than Dr. Caudill. Period. And so from there, it's like there's no that's the benchmark. And
That's interesting.
I've pitched many executive level leaders, and no one has come close to being as intimidating and as scary as he.
That's
was.
awesome.
So
That's cool.
That is awesome.
out of these three,
Yeah, answer the question for God's sakes.
Oh, I didn't even pick a bourbon. God.
coming from Mr. History Teacher there. Oddly enough, as much as I love Sugar House because it's really good, for Dr. Caudill, I think I'm going to go with Old Man in the Mountain.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because it's a little mysterious. I can't really pin down what it is about the flavor there.
It's apricots, I thought.
It could be. You said it right, Kurt.
No, he didn't.
No, he said apricot.
It's apricots.
You said apricots.
I did, but
Okay. Anyway,
just trying to make you happy.
good. The flavor, though, is just very mysterious, right? I hadn't quite figured out what it is. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. And so it just kind of fit with Caudill. So that's my spiel.
That's good.
That's a cool story.
That's good. That is a cool story.
That buddy of yours, brilliant.
Yeah,
Go
totally.
First. Take the first bullet.
And I go the next 8 weeks. He just sat back because he knew he wasn't going to get
He's
called.
like, I'm never going to get called.
Were you
like,
ready
I'm
to
done.
volunteer week 2?
Hell no. I was still scared
But
to
you know
shit
what,
out of
though?
him.
There is something to that, right? Because that professor probably also gave him a little slack for being brave enough to like step
Totally.
up. Yeah.
And smart. He probably gave him kudos for being smart.
Yeah,
Street
totally.
smart,
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
Yeah. How many weeks in the semester? Oh, I'm clear. Yeah.
And he didn't do
this.
shit for the rest of the semester.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. All right, I need the script.
Yeah, here we go.
I need the script. It's
Can't
pretty
you just
basic.
make
Thanks
it
for
up?
coming.
Just make it up.
Go to the website, like us.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I
sooner
would
than
say,
3 months.
hey, listen, everybody, we're in 14 countries, 48 states. We've got over 3,000 downloads. Please
that
grab
crazy?
on. That's crazy.
All right, guys. Looks like we've ended another fun evening with 3 bottles of bourbon. Awesome episode. Great spending time with you guys. So
Yeah, good to be back, guys.
Yeah,
It's been a
lot better than
long time.
A lot better than spending time in prison together.
I thought maybe I'd be sitting next to somebody different for the new year.
Nah, assigned seats.
Yeah.
Kurt,
It's like grade school.
Kurt, I can't quit you. I can't quit you. All right. So
At least I don't have to look at you all night.
that's right. Exactly. So we tasted some interesting bourbons. So I'm sorry, duos losing it.
I can't wait for this edit.
Oh boy.
In all reality, we do love each other. You know that.
We
Absolutely.
do. It shows. You can
Yeah,
hear it. Do you
I
listen
know.
to the podcast?
No.
No. Hold on. What's the mash bill on that one again? All right. Hey guys.
What's a mash bill?
What's a mash bill? All right, boys. Thanks again for another great episode. As always, excellent spending time with each other.
Amen.
We tasted some great bourbons tonight. We had Sugar House bourbon whiskey, which I think was, out of the 3, probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and I think
that was
got
the lead.
most
You
got most
just,
of the records
you just
out of
need to
there.
close us out, man. You don't need to reevaluate them all.
Boys,
Jansen with his swings.
Here he comes. He's coming again. He's hitting him high. He's hitting him low. He's wobbling.
Bird. I love it. All right. So we tasted Sugar House, which Kurt would like me to stop talking about.
I might as well pour it out.
That's right. Oh,
We're going to be here for another 30 minutes, so just so you know.
All right. Where do I pick up from here, dude?
Bourbon on.
Just wrap it up.
All right.
It's fine.
Guys,
Love you guys.
great spending time together.
job.
Bourbon on. I want to hear more about Alton's college experience. Shut that one down.
Guys, thanks for joining us. We've tasted 3 great bourbons tonight.